afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to your place of chill that is the Coffee Company. Today is a big day for a country I'm not even from. One of us is from that country. We are joined by Mr. Brian Daigle and Mr. Ryan Isaacs, and Miles is somewhere in the background doing something or other. So Ryan and Brian, how are you today?
I am very good. How are you?
I'm alive. So, right, today, Belgium versus Canada. When was Canada's last World Cup? Was 1986. 1986. So, come
36 years. 36 years. And yeah, like you said, one of us is from Canada. I'm actually eligible to be a Canadian citizen now. There's just a backlog from the COVID stuff where offices were shut, obviously, that I hadn't bothered to do. I am eligible. It's a huge day. It is a huge day for the country I now call home.
Yeah.
It's an historical day for the country I now call home. And I've been saying before, and I think I said to you, Ben, as well, I'm more excited about this game and Canada's group than I am England's because of
Because I'm exactly the same. I have no affiliation to the country of Canada, except I've only been there once. I've got a couple of friends that are from there, being yourself, Bobby K, my friend Alex, who you've met now. I've got Erica, of course, who's also from there, Alex's partner. I've got no affiliation to that country. But I want Canada to do better. But I don't care about the way England play at the moment. Maybe that's down to the manager, because I hate the manager. I think the manager is awful. But yeah, it's how exciting. I mean, the Scotland Yard itself is going to be rammed at this moment in time, probably at 10 o'clock in the morning. Sure.
Yeah, it is. They'll start getting ready. The Scotland Yard it's worked out that it's the 2 p.m. game today, so they have got the early license ready to open. Should Canada have a game at 5 a.m. in the morning, which would be 10 a.m. here. You've been to the Scotland Yard. You know what the Scotland Yard's all about, as there's a few other people that have come over to see me. Not just this pub. This has been something that's been we take for granted going to a World Cup or a Euros. In my lifetime, we've missed out in two: the World Cup '94 and the Euros 2008. They're the only ones we've missed. We come to understand this, and then you look at people like Wales, who had 60 odd years, and now Canada. And what a time for Canada to do it before they're hosting the World Cup. This is just such a big day for the country. And if I had one wish right now, it would be that I could just literally jump on a plane, go back to the Scotland Yard, and fly back like that. Yeah. Because it's a wonderful day for the country of Canada.
Before we get into the Canadian team and we talk about their opponents, Belgium, who we know very well, it's upsetting that it has to be Belgium because some of our heroes are there. Yeah. Let's welcome the guys in the chat. Mr. Eugene, big up Eugene. Hopefully you're well, buddy. So hello everyone. Big up, Levy out. Certain news going about from last night about another football club that is up for sale, yet we've stagnated. But we're not going to talk about that today.
Yep.
We're not going to talk about that. We're going to leave that for a stream on Tottenham on Tour, which will be tomorrow. So if you're around tomorrow later in the day, ask us anything as back with myself and Brian, maybe joined by some guests from the thingy-majig. And yeah, we'll talk about that then. Of course, Brian is here saying, come on, you Canada, up the mountain.
There's all the Canadian flags as well. And
all the Canadian flags.
CACA.
Up the Canada, up the Mounties.
Yep.
Up the maple syrup. Everything.
Up the maple leaf.
Up the maple leaf. Mr. Chris Agenbar is here. Big up. Big up. Big up. Ian Ferguson. F it. Come on, Canada. Big up, Ian. You're finally joining the right side of North America. You're finally joining the correct side. My maple syrup will be thick and Tim Hortons flow. Not Tim Hortons. That's
Jewish people at New Year when they say, may the apple and honey richly... Very, very much so.
Yeah. Big up, Scott M. Big up, buddy. Saying the 2022 World Cup winners be ready to play their first game in 5 hours. Scott, if you're not working at the moment, please let us know. I'll get Brian to send you the link so you can come on and you can talk about Canada, because I might as well get a Canadian on. I don't know any Canadians except for Bobby Kane. He's working, dickhead.
Yep. I'm half Canadian.
Yeah, you're almost half Canadian.
Yeah, I'm almost half. Yes, I'm eligible to be half.
You're eligible to be half Canadian. Scott is now saying football's coming home to Canada. It might do. You never know. It's the magic of the World Cup and the maple syrup. Yes, yes, yes. So they are playing Belgium. Belgium are a team that deeply disappoints all of us.
Yeah.
I don't know why that is, but they've got had some of the best players to ever play the game in the last 15 years, and they've won a grand total of diddly squat. They've won nothing. They are the Tottenham of international football. They have won literally nothing.
Yep.
Why is that? How are they so crap?
Do you know what it is? Well, first of all, this is going to be the very first time that I've ever gone against Jan Vertonghen.
Yeah.
I no matter what Jan Vertonghen does, if he doesn't come across Tottenham, England, or Canada, I will always root for that team because it's Jan Vertonghen. My love for that man is as pure as anything. And you look at them, and it's they have got so many fantastic individuals.
Yeah.
But like you saw, like we look at Real Madrid back in the day when they bought the Galacticos, and they just couldn't seem to click. It's all well and good having those individuals. You put a Kevin De Bruyne in this team or any team, he's going to do. This guy is world class. But do they all sing off the same hymn sheet when they're internationals and they play in certain different styles of football, different ways they use? So they've got all the talent, like we had with our golden generation, and we couldn't find Gerrard, Scholes, Lampard, that old chestnut, and
if only Ryan Giggs was English.
And that's where I think it's coming to. Nick, Barry, Sean, Phil, Grant.
Shut up, Nick.
Mate, listen, I spoke to Nick today, and I said to Nick when we did the watch along with Spurs Leeds that Canada are getting out of this group, and he was like, "Oh, behave." I was like, "Mate, I'm telling you." Then we were speaking earlier, and he messaged me immediately after Morocco, Croatia, and said Canada are getting out of this group. And I said to him, he's been saying this, and he's been saying it. We've been talking privately in our group, Ben. And I said the first call I'm going to make, whether we win, lose, or draw, will be to Nick when I leave the We Are Tottenham TV studios this evening. And I think it will be Nick apologising to me.
Absolutely. Up the Canada. He still thinks you'll get out the group, though, to be but
he's changed his tune after seeing Morocco and Croatia. Yeah. But do you know what I've got to say? And I don't know if this is just me feeling this way, but I wonder if you do, as well as the people in the chat. And I was saying this to Ryan earlier. You look at the Saudi Arabia game, and everyone thinks, "Oh, Saudi Arabia," because listen, it was Argentina and Messi, whatever. But you look at it, and no one really watches Saudi Arabian football or whatever leagues they're in, or there's not a Premier League star or in the top 5 leagues at Saudi Arabia, so you don't know a lot. You look at other teams like Japan. People say, Japan will give them a hard game, but not a lot of people watch the Japanese league or have a team. And this is what's happening with Canada. People just to say, "Oh, they haven't been there since 1986. America's so much better than them. What do you know that? Who knows any of that?" You haven't been watching what's been going on in Major League Soccer or oh God, I said the S word. Sorry, I slapped myself when I was saying Major League Football, or other leagues.
Yeah.
And as we'll come on to when you mention players, there's a certain player that I have been waxing lyrical about. People just don't watch this football. People didn't watch Cameroon football when they did it in Italia 90. People were watching Bulgarian football in America 94. Turkey, all right, maybe that's it, but South Korean football in 2002. People have not been paying attention to what they've been doing, and they are going to surprise a lot of people tonight. A lot of people.
The funniest thing is Nick, Barry, Sean, Ranjit, and Scott M have switched positions. Now Ranjit is the black cloud of misery, and Scott M is the happiest bloke on the planet. So what the hell has happened? What has happened?
What you got to remember as well is in one of my Leave Out groups, there's a Welsh fan. And we were all taking the mick or people were taking the mick when America went 1-0 up, going, ha ha. He goes, "Listen, mate, I don't care. I'm just happy to be involved and have my nation there for a change.
Yeah.
And that Canada have already won just by being there. And their manager, basically, the way they've done. First of all, their manager is British.
Yeah.
And he actually started off with the women's team, and the women's team won world championships, Olympic. They just won the Olympics, not through him, but then he switched over to the men's team, and he said the first thing he said to his manager or to his team is, "We're going to Qatar." They all laughed. He said, "No, we're going to Qatar," and they've got there. They got there, top of the group, smashed it, and like I said, there is going to be a lot of people tonight and over the next coming days, which are going to be wow. Those Canadians.
Yeah,
they can play. So I can't wait, mate. I can't wait.
Let's go into the players while we're here. So I am not the biggest knowledge on Canadian football. Of course, we've talked about Felix Buchanan. Who's Felix something or rather. Buchanan quite a lot, and how he would be a brilliant player for this Tottenham team out of Bruges. You've got Alphonso Davies, legendary footballer by now. We even know he's that young. He's basically almost a legend already with how good he is. You've then got David up front. They've got players that are known. But tell us about some other players that might be surprising.
Well, when it comes to it, I can't remember the name of the guy. There's a defender that everyone should watch out for. I'll get his name right now. But the one I keep saying is obviously out of the three you've been talking.
Yeah.
I have been banging the Tajon Buchanan drum.
Yeah.
Since and the thing why I think he's going to have a stormer today is that Belgian team are aging.
Yeah.
They may be organised, whatever, but this guy is as direct as they come.
Mm-hmm.
A bag of pace and energy and trickery, and is going to be. Hopefully, he'll have a standout game tonight because I really believe. Like I said, I can't believe how much I think this guy. Or I can believe. I can't believe that just how good this kid is. During qualifications, he was incredible. The best person to ask about the top or the real unknown players would be Scott Emmons. So if he's still in there, put him in. Then I can talk about them.
Yeah, don't go to work, Scott Emmons. Come on a stream. Tell your boss to sod off.
Exactly. Tell your boss to. Listen, surely everyone in Canada today is either finishing early or look. My nephew's school at 1 o'clock on Monday stopped lessons to put the TV on. Come on, Scott. Get your manager.
Get your priorities right. Get on the bit.
Exactly. But yeah, Tajon. I mean, people know about Jonathan David. Obviously, Alphonso Davies. Everyone knows. It's just he had an injury. It's just how well he's recovered from it, and a huge thing for him is his pace. I think he's probably the fastest player at the World Cup. He is going to he's going to do more stuff. But people know what his standard is. Is a very, very high standard.
Yeah.
Jonathan David been banging him in at Lille, and I can imagine a Premier League club coming in for him very soon, or at least one of the bigger leagues in Europe. Tajon Buchanan, like I said, even before this World Cup, even before this season, I've taken the heartbeat. And this is the thing; they are very direct. They play. When I say direct, I mean they will just go forward. They will go full throttle. They will go attack. They're a team that know what their strengths are and play to them, rather than worrying about the other team's strengths and trying to sort that out.
England.
Yeah, they will do that, and when you got the belief of the manager, then you're going to be a World Cup, and they walk onto that pitch today, and it's going to be a wonderful achievement. It's going to be a wonderful achievement. I said I'll get the Canadian players up. Let me just do that.
If you can find a picture on Twitter of the squad and send it to me, I'll put it up on the stream so everyone can see the squad.
There you go. 1 second. I shall. Let's have a look on Twitter. Ryan, you do some talking whilst I'm doing this.
Oh, yes.
Really? About Canada.
About whatever you want,
mate. About Canada.
Oh, Miles can jump on? Yeah. Miles can jump on for a bit.
Mate, you can talk about the Canadian players.
I know a few. Hutchinson.
There you go. Hutchinson was the guy who did it. Go on, Miles.
Jump on. You know more about this than I do. Get in there. Substitution.
I think one of their key players, honestly, will be Junior Hoylett. I mean, everyone that he's probably like 33 now, but I remember him at Blackburn in like 2010, and he was, and most recently, I don't know where he plays now, but he was with Cardiff last time they were in the Premier League. Yeah. So I feel like his experience is especially going to be useful to them wherever he plays. Because I know he's played all over the pitch, whether it be an attacking role or a defense role, midfield role.
Yeah.
And also, I follow like the other main players, like Jonathan David and Alphonso Davies. We all know what their quality about. And even though he plays for Bayern Munich as a left back, he'll be playing as Canada as probably a left winger, a left forward.
If this picture comes up. So yeah, but like I said, Jonathan David is obviously I'd say the top
Most
two people.
sounding man on the planet. But
yeah. I'll tell you what. Did anyone see as well on Sky Sports? He did a thing about. He did quite recently. He did a thing about his upbringing and how he came to Canada. A phenomenal interview.
So really, like I said, it should be David because he's from Haiti, right? I heard from Mari's stream that he's of Haiti. Yeah.
Yeah, and this is the thing. I'm trying to see
Reading.
You've gone on Google.
Yeah, I've gone on Google, but I'm trying to find a picture. I can find an article, but I can't find. Wait, let's see if I can share this with you, Ben.
Yeah.
I don't know if you'll
send
be able
to. Send it over. But it's just.
Oh, here you go. 1 second. If I do this, if I screenshot it to you and send it to WhatsApp.
Yeah, that's fine. I can add it as an overlay.
Okay, let's do that. 1 second. Let's get it all in. There we go. Share. No, not.
I hear it. I've got it here.
Where's that?
On Google, Canada's announced squad. I can send it to you.
Oh, send that to me. That's easier.
Yeah.
Okay, 1 second.
I'll send it to me.
Please.
Donkey.
The Germany-Japan game is on in the background. He's sending it to me right now.
Yeah.
Hoyler's at Red. He's at Reading.
I've sent it.
Okay, wicked.
I haven't got pictures. Got the name.
Let me send. Yeah, that's fine.
Cool.
Ben, you should have a list of it now on WhatsApp. Yeah. It's done it as their name.
So I can now download that. Awesome. There we go. We are not a professional streamer, as you lot can tell, but we can now do this. Yep. Overlay. Why the hell's that not opened?
So yeah, whilst you're doing that, I just have to say for people of Toronto, if you're looking for somewhere to get to the game, there is no better place in Toronto than to get to the Scotland Yard, the world famous home of Toronto Spurs, which is opening its doors. It's downtown on the Esplanade, right near the CN Tower and Union Station, the greatest pub in the world. They do so much for Toronto Spurs. Everyone is welcome, whether you support Spurs or not, but obviously it's a Spurs pub. And yeah, for Canada, it's just going to be crazy. There's a few bars down there as well, so then everything's going to be packed. No matter where you are in Canada, this is a day that everyone should be sharing together. We all know, like we said, we're hosting it next year, so next year is just going to be next World Cup.
Yeah,
it's just
USA and Mexico.
Yeah, it's just a wonderful time for Canadian football.
And it's landmark because it's 48 teams as well.
Oh yeah, it's 48 teams in that one. Yes, so Canada are going to win.
So yes, we have the squad right here. And it pulls up the screen, so it's absolutely brilliant.
That's it, mate. Well done, Miles.
Well done, Miles. You are officially better than your brother.
We knew that already.
So yeah.
Eddie Kube, Milan Borjan, Tajan Buchanan, Lucas Cavallini, Jonathan David, Alphonso Davis. I can't name a lot of Liam Fraser. Fraser's not. No, he's not the guy that plays for.
Lucas Cavallini, not be Italian.
Well, no, a lot.
So diverse. I'm not totally familiar with most of these players. You've got a guy that's got the same name as a pub, Wotherspoon.
Quite a few playing the Bundesliga as well.
Yeah, that's the thing. This is the thing. There are a lot of people here that are playing in European top leagues. I mean, Tajan Buchanan's actually at Club Brugge, who have got through to the Champions League.
Yeah. They're doing well in the Champions League. Bruges.
Say again?
They're doing well in the Champions League.
Yeah, they are. They've got one of the youngest Club Brugge.
Club Brugge.
They are one of the. They got the youngest. I think they've got the youngest average age of the teams that are left.
Club Brugge.
I can't. So yeah, they've got some of these players are playing in our like top 5 leagues. Yes, there's a few that are obviously in the MLS, but they honestly, like I said,
it's about the team, though, Brian. It's
Yeah.
not about the quality. We saw that with Saudi yesterday. Everyone thought Argentina was going to win that 15-0. I thought they were going to win that 15-0, but they stuck with it. They were hard to beat. The coach made Argentina. I don't know who the coach of Argentina is now, but he made him look like an idiot. He played a high line. Every single one of those disallowed goals were offside because they played the offside trap. And they got two goals on the counter-attack.
I don't believe it was the offside trap. They were just playing a high line, not like trying to do an offside trap. And it was just Argentina's fault for getting too greedy and too ahead of themselves.
But, you know what it is as well? And I said Simeon hit it bang on the money when I was watching the what was the game I was watching yesterday?
Turkey League.
Whatever the 0-0 was yesterday. What was the game I was watching? Denmark, Tunisia. And even Simeon was saying he read somewhere, he heard the conversation saying, do you know what? These smaller countries, or not just the smaller countries, now it's become so tactical and so organised that those moments of brilliances, like the Maradona goal against us or the Michael Owen goal, they are very, very few in between. Yeah. What's getting the job done is being tactically astute, tactically aware, and putting the effort in as a team, rather than saying, like, Italian 90, there you go, do your thing. Yes, you're going to want to do that, but a lot of it, and you've seen in this World Cup, has been very, very tactical. And that's one thing Canada will be. Yep. Mate, I don't know. There was actually a time where I can't remember what game it was. I think it was the game you were there, Ben. I was outside with Adam. Do you remember my friend Adam? Went out for a vape, and a police car pulled outside, and I said to him, "Oh, you're that keen? You're coming in to watch the second half?" And he looked at me like, "What? And he goes, "Oh, you're talking about the S word." And I even turned around to him and I said, "You're lucky that you're a cop and you've got a gun, because anyone that says that word in front of me gets a slap." And he looked at me, and thank God he took it as a joke. But I'm not going to say it. Major League. Oh. Yeah. That word. So yeah, big up Graham. I can see Graham.
Big up Graham. Hopefully you're well.
Getting back to it, this is what it's become. It's become very, very tactical.
The tactics are the most important part of football. They should be. If you are organised, you can beat any team.
Correct.
But if you're organised with good players, you can be impossible to beat. And Saudi showed that against Argentina.
Yep.
That organisation, Tunisia, being hard to beat, being strong. Yeah, Iran did it as well, but their tactics were to kick us off the pitch. It didn't work. It didn't work against England. But sometimes it will work. And that's part of football. If you go in with a game plan and you stick to your game plan, you can accomplish anything. So if Canada go and play a good tactical game and be hard to beat, if they hit them on the counter, Belgium's defenders, they're all at an average age of 50 million. You've got Toby Alderweireld that's 36, 35, 36, I would say. Maybe.
Have a look.
Jan Vertonghen is 35, I think.
And last look, at the Euros and World Cup, then Thomas Vermaelen, he was
oh my God, that guy. Well. So Toby, okay, that's come up for some reason as Toby Anstis. I don't want to be checking that guy out.
Vertonghen's 34, 35 now.
So
and Toby, the couple years
33 is Toby.
Yeah.
35.
Yeah, Vertonghen 35. But this is the thing, you talk about that. If they're on the break and Alphonso
go on, hit it
out and Alphonso Davies is going at full throttle, you ain't catching him. You're not catching Alphonso. Tajan is rapid.
Yeah.
And that's what it takes. That's all it's going to take. Junior Hoylett still, even at his age, is a speedster.
Yeah.
One of his things. There is pace in this. There is pace throughout this Canadian team.
And that's two of the reasons why both Toby and Jan had to leave Tottenham. As much as we both loved him, his legs were completely and utterly gone. Like he couldn't do a whole 90 minutes. His legs were gone. And any time someone put a ball behind him, he was done. if Canada be hard to beat, 2 banks of 4. I don't know what formation Canada play. I don't know if they play.
They vary.
Probably a 4-3-3.
They'll vary. They're one of the teams. They will flex. They will
If they
flex.
play 2 banks of 4, be hard to beat, and then put one over the top, they will get chances against Toby and Jan because they are not quick anymore.
Well, the thing is as well is I can't remember Belgium. Ryan normally played left back.
They played 3 at the back as well.
Big up Amir. Big up Amir. But yeah, this is the thing. Jan Vertonghen normally plays at left back.
Yeah.
So if they're doing that and they come up against the speedsters, then there you go. So Scott is going 3-4-3.
Yeah, send him the link, Brian, if you can get the link.
Yeah, I'll send it to him right now.
Send him the link and let's bring Scott M on because he might actually know some of the Canadian players. I'm like,
he can give a
down with Scott M.
1 second. I'm going to do that, then very quickly go to the bathroom. Scott.
But be hard to beat.
Scott's got it. So I'll be back in 1 second.
Ryan, come on.
Substitution. Canadian out, non-Canadian.
So yeah.
Got the brothers on.
Sorry, you have to deal with that.
You probably have watched Belgium more than me, Ryan, since you watch more football than me. How can Canada hurt Belgium?
Mostly probably going to be, sitting in, being hard to beat, as most sides have been against the bigger nations, except for Iran against England. Just being hard to beat, settled, taking your time over set pieces, frustrating them and just hoping for something to break to them. Because I'm one of the, because I haven't seen Canada play, similar to what Brian's been saying about the fact that it's going to be, most of us haven't seen these lesser nations play because they aren't at the big clubs around Europe. So it's difficult to get an assessment of how they're going to play. I'll get more of an assessment today how they play against Belgium, to maybe see how they can potentially hurt Croatia, because generally if they are going to make it through this group, it's going to be expensive Croatia.
Just a sec, Ryan. I am going to bring in the man from Canada. We actually have a Canadian on a Canada stream. We have Mr. Scott M for his coffee company debut. How are you, sir? How are you?
Good, thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm going to quickly show my jersey before Brian gets back and sees the red, but I do have my Canada jersey on.
Your excuse for the day, sir. Your excuse for the day. It's Canada. How can Canada?
Substitution.
Substitution.
Yeah. The better combo.
You want Chinese?
Yeah, go on.
Oh,
Big up, Scott.
How's it going, Brian?
Canada jersey.
All good, my man. All good. Very, very excited for today.
Yeah, it is very exciting. I know you said I should have got out of work, and I wish I could, but it's one of those days where I don't have any flexibility. So, luckily for me, though, the game will be on during most of my lunch time, so I can probably catch a lot of it. But it's pretty disappointing that for the first time in my lifetime, I mean, obviously I was alive in '86, but not really. Yeah. I was 7 years old, so I wasn't really following it like I am now. So this is really the first time that I've had a major tournament, and really the first time, the last couple of years, that Canada has really been relevant in football. So it's great to be around right now to follow it, and hopefully I'll be able to follow more of the games and watch them live after today. But today, I won't, unfortunately, be able to watch the game as I would like.
Scott, do you agree with what I was saying earlier about how I think the Canadian team are being underestimated just because solely people aren't obviously paying big attention to the Canadians in world football?
Yeah, it's understandable. We have Alphonso Davies is a big name, but other than that, our players aren't necessarily big names. But what I've been saying all along is we're not England, we're not Brazil, we're not Argentina, obviously. But I think we're also not Qatar, and I mean, yesterday's result notwithstanding, kind of Saudi Arabia, how they've been in the past, where they're just teams there to fill up the numbers, really, to be honest, right? They're not expected much. It doesn't mean that Canada's going to get out of the group stage. It doesn't mean we're going to run crazy through everyone. But if we beat Croatia, if we beat Belgium, if we make it out of the group stage, it won't necessarily be by fluke. We need things to go right for us, but it isn't like we're a team that is miles behind. We have a very solid 11, even if they're not household names. And what they do, and I think I heard you saying it as well, Brian, our coach is great, and even more than him being great, he knows how to get these players, he knows the best formations to use, he knows how to get them playing well, and he makes changes when changes are needed based on what the team needs, right? Not just based on who he might think is the best name, who he's loyal to. He makes changes based on what's best for the squad. And I know for English fans that might be something that they're not used to recently, considering their manager.
Do you know what? Honestly, do you know what as well? And I'm not just saying this. We're all talking if Southgate goes. Who's there? And there's links with Poch. There's links with this. This guy is English. And just remember, Graham Potter, who was at Ostersund's and had one good. No one knew a thing about this dude. And then all of a sudden, he's at Swansea. Why not? Why not? If he can do well with Canada, I'm sure he'd want to stay on if he does a big team out in 2026. But do you know what we're saying? There's a shortage of England. Japan have just scored against Germany.
Yeah, I'm glad you.
So
I didn't realise Japan were Canada, lads. Shut up.
Sorry. No, come on, you. The England. Listen, we go on about this, and you look at Graham Potter, who was absolutely unknown,
and he's 16 is a team that beat Arsenal. But they won. They lost in the last 32, but they lost 3-0 at home, but they won 2-1 away.
Yeah, so not saying that he will be the England next man, or could be, but I think he is going to get his name very, very well known within this country, and it could be a great experience, and his name will come to the front, because if he's done it superbly well with the women, he's got the Canadian national team to their first World Cup in 36 years.
Yeah.
That's the kind of CV that starts sending ripples, doesn't it? And if he gets them out the group with Belgium and Croatia in there, which I still believe Canada will do, they'll get second. But if they get a win today, who knows where they could end up with the result earlier? It's a big day for the country. It's a big day for the players. It's a huge day for the manager.
Yeah, I really hope that, and maybe I'm being a bit homer biased here, that he stays because we have that World Cup at home in 2026.
Yeah.
I hope that's a big draw. But you made a good point, and I know a lot of people will won't be impressed. And I don't want to get into this debate about women's soccer football. I always say soccer when I'm talking about Canada, but what he did with the Canadian women's team is impressive. No matter what you think, it was impressive, right? He got them. They won the Olympics, which for women's soccer is a big event, right? They play their best players there, and he did great. And now I think the fact that he's come to Canada, shown he can do it in the men's game, means that anybody who underestimates the women's game, which nobody should, he's now shown that he can do it in both. He's a really quality manager. Maybe people in England, he wouldn't be a name that they would want. They probably want a bigger name, but if by some way he became England manager, English fans should be excited, because he is a quality manager who's shown. Again, I think in England he might get in. It might not be a great fit for him because the FA seems to have a lot more politics. Although, Canada, and I say soccer because that's what the organization's called. Canada Soccer is a disaster. Like, it is horrible. And if he leaves, that's my concern. Is that the morons that run the federation behind the scenes are going to screw it all up, because I think they could easily screw all the work that he's done up, because they really are terrible outside of him. So,
Scott, I think you're bang on right. I mean, I think if he does well at this World Cup, I don't think you could. The FA will be in love with him. The Canadians already in love with him. To lead the host nation, I mean, for me, even living in England, the 2026 World Cup is the first World Cup where I'm going to be in a host nation, obviously the Euro 96 I was here, but what an incredible achievement it is. And to be able to lead your country out, or the country out, in a host World Cup, I think that's too big a pull to pull him away from anywhere, in all honesty. I couldn't see someone wanting to give that up, because if Canada do well in this World Cup, and for me, doing well is getting out of the group, being there is success. Getting out of the group is going to be an absolutely incredible achievement for all of Canada. I don't think he'll become a king. He'll become a god in Canada.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. They'll use this one to kind of build up for 2026. If he has success at that home, he's still young enough, right? If he has success in 2026, there'll still be jobs for him to go do. So that would be my ideal. Well, I mean, my ideal is he stays on for the rest of his career, but let's be realistic. But I think if that's what we do, and I agree, getting out of this stage, that would be great. I think we can honestly, if we play competitive games against Belgium and Croatia, and they're not, they're close games, even if we lose, I still think it can be a successful World Cup for us, right? I won't see that as a failure. If we go out there and we're not competitive, we're not scoring, that would be a disappointment. But even if we don't make it through, I still think we can have a competitive World Cup. Why can't I think of the word? Positive World Cup, right? I still think it can be positive because it is our first time. These guys we still have a fairly young squad overall. So, but I do think I think we do have a chance. I didn't predict us to go through, but I wouldn't be surprised, and I think we have a chance. But I'm coming up to some areas where I'm going to be in the middle of nowhere and lose signal, so I'm going to hop off. But thanks very much, Ben, for having me. Brian, great chatting. I think I saw Ryan there as well. What's that?
I'll message you throughout the game, my friend.
Sounds good. My prediction for the game, I'm going to be not the happy clapper that Nick hopes for, and I'm going to say a 1-1 draw. I think we have a chance. Brian's kind of laid out everything I said about the game when I heard him. We will go at him. We will have some dangerous runs. We'll put Jan and Toby, as much as I love them, we will put them under pressure with their lack of pace, and I think we'll get one. But I just think with guys like De Bruyne out there, I think Belgium is an old team. They're a smart enough team. They'll get it back on us. So I think a 1-1 draw for me today.
There we go.
Cheers for coming on, Scott. It's great to have you on the show and just to be a great insight into Canada. It was an amazing day for the country of Canada. And yeah, it's brilliant stuff, buddy.
Oh, sorry. One last point, Ben. I forgot to mention when I got it. Sorry, I was a little late coming on. I had to stop at Tim Hortons, get my coffee here. Ryan, I know you can't get a quality cup of coffee like Tim Hortons anywhere in London. So just, make do with the coffee you get there. And when you get back here, you can get back to the real coffee that we have here at Tim Hortons. So
I wouldn't call it coffee, to be honest, buddy, but still, hopefully you enjoy it.
We do have a Tim Hortons in London. It's a bit of a trek, but I may have to pop down.
Why would you go to Tim Hortons when you go to the coffee company, which is far better?
No, I'm talking about if I'm in London. What I actually want to do, Scott, someone from Toronto Spurs tagged me in it. There's actually a TalkSport official Canadian pub where they're selling tickets, where it's for people of Canada or whatever that want to follow them. That they're doing all the beaver towels, the poutines, everything. And hopefully I'm going to go to one of the games with Brad Matthews and anyone else that wants to join in a Canadian pub to go watch it. Cause it's going to be a good day. I want to be with fellow Canadians for a match. I think it will be the last game against Morocco. Is it Morocco? Not Morocco. Is it Morocco?
Croatia?
No, yeah, Croatia.
Yeah, Croatia.
Morocco, Morocco. So it may be the Morocco game. But yeah, I think I'm going to have to go to Canadian.
Sorry. Well, enjoy if you do. I think there's so many Canadians over there, right? It's not like it's hard to find Canadians in London. Okay, I gotta go. See you guys. Thank you.
Cheers.
Unbelievable. I have to say it's been coming. I said Desmond, didn't I?
Desmond.
So we shall see. But no. Listen, getting back to the whole thing. Oh, there you go. There's one in Braintree. Thank you very much indeed, Stuart. I know there's a few more, but yes. So it's a bit, again, you could hear Scott. Unfortunately, I don't know how they haven't called it a public holiday today. Last minute said everyone closed. It's if I was working, if I had a job back home at the time, I would not be working. And that's me speaking as a British guy who is now fully feeling like a Canadian, and I would have taken Ilana down to the Scotland Yard, because this is just something you don't want to miss.
Yeah.
I would just like to say, hopefully, the game doesn't end after 85 minutes, because we do know who the referee is.
Yeah.
Or it does if Canada are 1-0 up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then they can blow up early.
Exactly. So yeah, it's just like we said, Ben. We in this country take everything for granted when it comes to qualifications. And when we don't qualify, it's an absolute outrage. Well, it's the reverse right now for what's going on back home in Canada. It's just a huge achievement. And do you know what? Something that Scott was saying, like I said, but Scott elaborated on it a lot more, is the way that this manager will change for the benefit of the team. Not, oh, you're Alphonso Davies, you don't stop because you're Alphonso Davies. He will do what needs to be done. And like I said, Scott gave his prediction. I'll give my prediction near the end. It's not the same as Scott's. But yeah, I mean, you got to see a bit of Canada, didn't you, Ben? And obviously you saw the Scotland Yard and you saw what it's all about. Just can you imagine what that like when you came downtown? What it will be like on the TTC with people trying to get to places. It's just going to be wonderful. One thing I did love when I was there for the Brazil World Cup and I got married to Ilana, even the shopping centres put huge, mammoth, big screen TVs either side. So the people that were shopping that could shop and the ones that weren't and were there with them, it will be. I think no one will be doing their shopping if they're in the Eaton Centre or Yorkdale or anywhere in Toronto. They will be at the big screens.
I mean, that's the way it should be. It's just, it reminds me of 2002 World Cup in Korea, and every single it's just like, no, we're not doing lessons today. We're watching the fucking football.
Yeah,
that's the way it should be. This is a humongous moment for a country. This is a humongous. It should be a public holiday, in my opinion, but I am not a member of the Canadian government.
Exactly. This is the thing. I mean, I'm sure that, like they did here with my nephews and niece, and probably hundreds of schools or thousands of schools around the country on Monday, they're like, right, stop. I think schools may be doing that.
Yeah.
People in work, a lot of people are like Ilana's working from home today, and I know for a fact from 2:00 she's doing bugger all, and she don't even like football.
Yeah.
But she wants to be part of it and enjoy this historical moment for the country. So I just hope there's been people like myself that have been bigging Canada up, that they give the performance that I know they're capable of doing.
It's just that I think that I don't believe, with what I've heard about this coach, he's going to allow the players to get caught up in the moment. Yep. I think those Canadian players are going to be ready to go. And I think it's going to be Belgium that are going to be the ones who are going to struggle today, because we know this Belgian team, or we know them better than most people as English football fans. Most of their players are players from big English football clubs, and they fold at every tournament. It's what happens when you have a crap manager like Roberto Martinez that's never won anything. He won the FA Cup, so it's more than we've won in the last 20 years.
Well, look what Wales did. Look what Wales did in the Euros, mate, when they played Belgium. If they think come in and going, oh, we're Belgium, we're this, we're that.
Yeah,
they're in for a rude awakening.
Can I say something? It's all about the moment. It's all about taking those chances. I mean, not to deep things on that. For example, like in the Saudi Arabia game, Saudi had 3 shots, 2 of them on target. Those were the 2 goals. They took their chances. They might be a bit cocky. Belgium, of course, it would be when you compare Belgium, the players compared to Canada. They got a couple good. There's a couple good at every country that aren't in the top 10, whatever. But it's all about keeping that mindset, because once you lose it, you ain't regaining it in that kind of atmosphere. In this kind of tournament, when everything is on the line, when you put your body and your life on the line for it because of the passion, and if you just take everything for granted, you will fold and you will cost your country. That's why nothing should be taken for granted. Some people only get 1 shot, even if it's 4 years and people go when they're 20 and there's 4 years and they're 24. you might not be good enough then, and this might be your one chance to show what you can do and be proud of your country.
I am deeply. I am. Whoa! Miles just went deep.
Ryan, you're sacked. You're sacked, Ryan. We've replaced
Miles
you.
just went, mate.
Ryan, you missed it. You can watch back.
Yeah, you can watch it back. Miles just went like he was running for Prime Minister of a country.
Oh, I could.
He just delivered, mate. Team talks. Gee, brother, that was. Go
That's
on.
the team talk for Canada.
I'm out to Qatar.
That was mate. If I had a million guesses of what you might have said, that would have even been close.
Well, I said it but I can't say anything bad, so that's
Yeah.
the reason why.
But no, it's straight to the point, isn't it? Straight to the point.
Yeah. I'm going to refer to the United States versus Wales game, which was on the other day.
Yeah.
They got absolutely battered, Wales, in that first half. And people say, oh, they were a much better team. What did Wales do? They played simple football. They put a big bastard up top in Kiefer Moore, and they bullied them, and they got something out of the game. That is exactly what they know. They know the blueprint now.
Big up, Captain Manchester.
It's the blueprint. The blueprint for playing against a bigger side. Put a big man up front and be direct, be difficult to beat, and take your chances. Because that's what we need. That's for any team, not just Canada.
You know, can I just, with this, whether it be domestic football or international, all the pressures on Belgium in this instant, as everyone's be like, it's kind of obviously no, like, no one's following they know a good few names, Jonathan Davis, maybe Hoyler.
You cannot.
Yeah, for example, like names like that. But they don't know the whole team, how it plays. You know,
exactly.
They're confident when they're qualified, and so everyone's be like, you look at like bookies, it's gonna be all odds on Belgium. They're all gonna be like 8-1 on, and even then they'll be thinking, the pressure's on Canada. Right? They said they're happy to be there for 36 years. They'll be happy to represent their nation, their country, to try and do their fans proud. I'm sure most of the fans don't expect it. Like all can have the phrase.
Yeah, Andrew,
but all the pressure, and that could easily get Belgium because if they. But Belgium don't handle it well because they've had a golden generation, like you talked about 2016, with the up front, Hazard, Lukaku, and Oliver Vertonghen, who best centre back playing 16-17 era. Dembele, they have Witsel, they have Januzaj, who was hyped for one moment, but he's gone missing. They've got such and they're coming through. They've got Doku as well up front. They've got Dick Cataleta, who's now at AC Milan. I can't pronounce his name, but they signed him in Club Brugge in the summer. Who's supposed to be the next big thing. They've got a good system, but this has been a golden generation. And they have folded under the pressure. And this is if this gets to them again, I could see Canada easily sneaking a victory here, let alone trying to get something to be proud for their nation.
There you go, mate. Jesus, goddamn Christ, Miles.
I hope everyone understood what I said.
Miles for Tottenham on tour confirmed.
Mate,
get the contract out,
mate. But yeah, like you were saying, as well, this is it. Wales went and played.
Sign it out.
Wales saw the problem and worked and said, right, let's make this change to stop this and to combat it and play to our strengths. And this is what it is going to come down to. It's a game of chess. And oh my God, Japan are on the break again from a bad mistake from Rudiger. But literally, it's who wants it more. Like Miles said, the pressure is all on Belgium. And I think, I mean, you talk about Saudi Arabia. I think, I'm not saying they're going to do what Leicester did, but Canada's team are probably being spoken about in the odds of like Leicester.
Yeah.
It's just not going to happen. You ain't been like, I mean, they almost got relegated, and then we all know the Leicester story. Well, Canada, there you go. Chris has said he'll have what you're drinking. He's drinking Diet Coke, which is kind of alarming.
Am I speaking too fast?
No, he's saying that what you're speaking is brilliant.
He's speaking facts.
Yeah, you're speaking exactly. So when it
my name's with a Y, by the way. For future, for when I get the contract.
Yes, for when the contract comes in, we'll make sure.
My payment right here.
So this is it. It's playing to our strengths, and we'll see what happens. But like I said, with the Leicester story, I'm not saying Canada are going to win the World Cup. I'm far from that. But they are getting out the group. They are getting out the group, and getting out the group will be humongous for the nation of Canada.
It's a North America is the undiscovered country for football. We've seen that with the United States and how many good players they've got now.
Yeah.
Canada can be the same thing. I had whilst I was there, had the privilege of walking around the great town of Eglinton, which is still under construction.
Yeah.
But there are so many American football fields, but there aren't any Canadian American football teams. Imagine they replace those American football fields at a game they don't play for football. And they've already got some great footballers.
The great thing with it, though, a lot of those football is obviously NFL. To get into the NFL is a big thing there. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson even came to the Canadian Football League, the CFL, which the Toronto Argonauts won last week, getting the Toronto for the first time in 5 years. So they do that, but also there's a lot of stuff with indoor soccer, football pitches. But you've got to look at it. The likes of Jermaine Defoe went out there. Now you've got the Italian guy actually in Toronto. Yeah.
But the thing is, though, MLS is now like a playground for. You go back to history when Pele played for New York Cosmos.
No, of course it is. But what I'm saying is that there are players going out to MLS, but now there's starting to be an influx of people coming to Toronto, and Toronto or the MLS is getting bigger and better.
It is, but it's an agent because they're paying.
Of course they do, but what I'm saying is people go there, and if Canada have a good World Cup, other players that are like that are going to come, and it can only be for the benefit of Canadian football, working with these players and the experience they have. I don't want, as much as I'd love 23-year-olds, and I'm just saying a youngster, first look at Jude Bellingham, not that he's ever got, but as much as I'd love to see a British or young superstar going to the MLS in Toronto.
Yeah, but when there's a superstar that's in the MLS, it gets signed by
LA Galaxy.
No, I'm saying they get signed straight away to the big team. Like when Davis, we'll see when he was banging down left wing, he got signed by Munich.
Yeah, that's the thing. So hopefully these bigger players will come, and especially to Canada, and we'll see. But
even if Canadian players go into Europe, that will still improve those players.
Exactly. It's
a mutual relationship.
It will become where people will You're right, like you were saying, Ben. Hopefully, a certain parasite, or please God, if someone sells the club, they will start taking a look at what Canada has to offer just as much as, like you said correctly, they look at Americans. You got to remember, we've had the Junior Hoylets, the legend that is Paul Stalteri.
Yeah.
Before that was Paul Pesky Salido.
Yeah.
Darren Brady's husband that was doing it. There have been Canadians that come over, but now there is a better breed or better skill set of Canadians that are applying their trade in football.
I said the one thing about MLS has definitely improved is how they've actually done proper penalty shootouts.
Yeah.
That was horrific, seeing halfway line walking and running like it's ice hockey, isn't it? Not really ice hockey.
So yeah, no, you're right, Ben, with the scouting. You're completely bang on the money, bro.
So, yes. Catman, if you're feeling alone for the game, head over to We Are Tottenham TV with this man, and you'll never be alone.
Exactly. But any Canadians that can't watch the game or are watching the game but don't like the commentary, I will be in the We Are Tottenham TV studios doing the watch along, proudly displaying my Toronto Spurs flag, shouting out as many Canadian things as I can, and just I'm fully immersing myself in everything Canada. Like I said, I am more buzzing for this game than I am or was the England games. I am pledging. Obviously, England, we know what they're going to do or what they're capable of, but I am rooting for Canada.
Semi-final.
England, Canada semi-final. Then I become English.
Wow, countryman.
No, I become English, mate. Listen, like I said, I get the joy of having to support both nations, and believe me, if Canada were playing England in hockey, I am blatantly supporting Canada. So yeah, but any Canadian that does want to have some fun with the commentary, you can catch me on the We Are Tottenham TV channel doing the watch along with Ben and Sim.
Who's a bloody whistle with you, man?
Absolutely, it's just it's a very good day.
Look at the scene.
It's over. It's over. The second shock has been done. The third shock to follow later today.
And I got a score prediction right for once. I said 2-1 Japan, and I got a score prediction. Why did I not bet?
I said I actually went for Desmond's. But if I could have chosen a result, I would have chosen this every single time. Big up, mate. Like I said, this World Cup in general, I think there are going to be some huge shocks.
If one England's going to win it.
I think, yeah, okay.
That's too much of a shock.
Yeah, that's. I honestly think there's going to be there's going to be some shocks, and but yeah, Canada. What can we do? We'll see what we'll feel the fiber. We'll feel the fiber of their fabric this evening.
Yeah, I mean, we will see. It's again, they are playing a good team. They are playing not a good team. They're playing some of the best footballers to have played the game in the last 20 years. Jan Vertonghen, Toby Alderweireld, De Bruyne, Hazard.
You've got a Courtois in goal, who is
who's won the Champions League and was unbelievable. They've got some unbelievable players, Belgium, but anything can happen. Anything is possible.
Yep. That's it. That's what you got to think. That's what you.
22 men kick a ball, and at the end of the day, Canada win.
There you go. There you
4-1 Canada.
I wish it was 4-1. I am going 2-1 Canada. Both. If I was to say my heart, it'd probably be 3-1. My head is saying 2-1. If the players turn up and do what they got to do, I just think the pace that Canada have is something over minutes. The Belgian team, I can't, apart from Lukaku, who's got pace, I can't think of many others that have got.
Hazard has lost his pace.
It's not the Chelsea Eden Hazard. It is not he's gone to Madrid and things have not gone the way he thought it would. He weren't even in the Champions League squad. I just don't.
Big up, Phil.
I just don't think Belgium. One of the things they are not blessed with is pace, and one of the things Canada is pace. And we all know. Look at what teams in the Premier League do when they come up against pace. Look at Adama Traore. Not saying that any of the Canadians are that built, but
you can't Ben. Traore is a pace merchant. He can't finish. He can't pass.
Mate, Alphonso Davies
can't pass and he can't finish.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is the Belgian team do not have a player like that will.
They've got Carrasco, and that's about it.
He's done.
Mertens isn't a pace nation.
He's 35 and he plays. He's like an
Trossard. What in Brighton?
No, bro, he ain't got that pace. He ain't that pace. He's a dribbler.
Yeah, so we'll see. When Belgium tire, do you know what? If I was Belgium as well, and I'm being serious here, I'll be. What game was it that I was looking at the other day? Denmark, where they had quite a lot of creativity on the bench that could come on and influence the game. I would be looking at that way with Belgium, but saying, is there any established internationals that I can do to see out the game to come on? Because if the Belgians tire, then Canada will go for the jugular. Canada will go for the jugular. So that's what we'll see. Like I said, Canada are one of those teams. No matter who they come against, they will play to their strengths.
This is a prime example.
Not
to underestimate.
Not to the opponent's strengths is what they will do. They will focus on what they're good at and let that shine through.
And it's all about little changes. Martinez is not a good tactical manager, which is why he's a failure. I do not see if Canada go 1-0 up. I do not see Belgium coming back. I don't see it because Martinez is a useless manager. That's why he's never had a proper job.
Yep. So I hope that we get a goal. I don't want it to come so early, midway through the first half or later, just so like what happened with Australia, we don't get ahead of ourselves and whatever. But if we can get into half time, drawing or in the lead, then I see it only going one way in the second half. I really do, and I look, but believe me, I put my neck out so much that if we win, I'm going to enjoy a few phone calls, and if we get spanked, hibernate mode might be on my. No, I'll never run and hide. I will imagine a few calls and WhatsApp messages will be flying in, but I'm really ultra positive that it's going to be a incredible day, an incredible result for the great nation of Canada.
The Great White North. Big up to KBV. It's him.
It's me.
KBV. Big up. Cuba99. Big up, Coobs. Big up. Brenton, Brian, and Ryan. Looks like I'm missing a few upsets in the World Cup, but Belgian 4-0 win. Shut up, Coobs. Shut up, Coobs, you biscuit liar.
Yeah, it's not happening, Coobs. It's 4-0 is definitely not happening. It's not happening, good sir.
Unless it's 4-0 Canada. It's
you are changing your score more often than the weather.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I can only see a Canada win today. I think Belgium are going to do it, and Argentina, and now a Germany. They're going to turn up. I think they're going to win, and they're going to lose. That's all I can see. And Belgium always flop at tournaments. Always. It's not like they're France.
Exactly.
France showed how much quality they've got against even they started poorly yesterday.
Yeah.
They showed they had real quality. I mean, Olivier Giroud rolled back the years yesterday. He was class yesterday. Absolutely brilliant. It's a real shame that we didn't sign him at Tottenham. I was desperate to get Giroud, and everyone had a laugh at me out about Olivier Giroud. My God, what a footballer. What a footballer he is.
He's basically a much better version of Fernando Llorente.
Yeah. But big up Llorente. I like Llorente.
Yeah, Llorente is class for us, but to have someone like Giroud.
Yeah, no, he is, and you got to look at it. A lot of these teams that he's been at as well. Even going into this World Cup, he would have been behind Benzema. He would have been behind Nkunku.
I don't think so.
No, but I'm saying if them two were fit, he's not getting a look in, and he knows that, but still turns up, and when he's called upon, delivers.
Scores.
When he's called upon, he delivers, and you know what? I don't know how many games difference he's done it to Henry, hitting 51 goals for France, but to be joint top scorer, and let's face it, he's going to score another goal in his career, whether it be in this World Cup or a friendly after. But to have that, like, please God, Harry Kane will very soon, to be the record goal scorer for your country. And you think about some of the strikers that have been there for France, Jean-Pierre Papin, Henry, obviously, Djorkaeff. Would you call Zidane a striker though, Ben? I don't think
he scores goals. He scores goals. And he was a penalty taker, and France used to get a lot of penalties.
Yeah, even Griezmann to be the record goal scorer or record anything for your country, it's got to be one of the proudest moments.
Yeah,
in your entire life, let alone career. So yeah, well done to them. But yeah, again, like we said, France got off to that poor start, but they got a rude awakening. Let's just hope we get off to not as quick a start, and there is no rude awakening.
I think that would be a bad idea if Canada scored in the first 10 minutes, because then that would be poking the bear. I think
exactly.
They've got to manage this game properly, Canada. But I see this manager doing it. But I see him being a better tactical manager than Roberto Martinez. I think Martinez sucks. I really don't rate that man as a manager. But who knows? He might pull a rabbit out of the hat this tournament. But I just don't see it. It's so many.
Like you said, Ben, the pressure on him, the pressure on him as well for this tournament, because he's had three. What is this? His third tournament, if I'm right, that he's leading into.
Yeah.
And for the two previous ones, he was favourites.
Yeah.
He was right up there. They were number one in the world. It was like, right, this is the time. And now they're all coming to the end. This will be the last World Cup for a majority of them.
Yeah.
It's now or never, isn't it?
Yeah, it is now or never. I don't see Belgium getting out. I don't see them getting past the quarterfinals. I think there are so many better teams than them now. They've got no pace. All they've got is De Bruyne over most other teams. They've got one world-class player, and the rest of them are aging players. I don't see them doing it.
So you look at that as well, Ben. When I first went into the talk, I was saying it would be at the expense of Croatia.
Yeah.
But then again, I watched We Are Tottenham TV, and Simeon was mentioning exactly everything we've said. And Simeon's actually put Belgium to be the biggest flop of his flop of the World Cup.
Yeah.
And it got me thinking with what Simeon was saying, and I've now switched. But you look at Croatia today, they were not impressive. They were not impressive. So you look at it, this Croatia team are aging, but I don't know what it is with Croatia. A snake. Oh, Jesus. Sorry, I can't.
You said S word again.
Yeah.
TV's off. TV's off. TV's off.
Okay. Sorry, I can look again. Thank you. Thank you. So yeah, Croatia and Belgium both now. This is like the last chance saloon for a golden generation. So it's the golden generation against young, eager, chomping at the bit people that have never experienced what they're about to. Big up Kim, honey. Mary Poppins.
Kimber.
This I actually think this group is going to be the most entertaining group.
Yeah,
I really do.
It's going to be brilliant, mostly because it's so unpredictable. It's very unpredictable. Yeah. Are we well? We're doing well, Kimber. We are doing well. Thank you to Kimber for joining us yesterday with Mr. Resnold. It was a long old stream yesterday, but we had drunk loads of tea and it was fun.
Fantastic.
And yeah, it was brilliant. So big up Kimber. Everyone say hello to Kimber in the chat.
Big up Kimber.
Big up. I see this being a brilliant game tonight. I think it's going to be. I think it's the game of the day for me.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it, if you don't get me wrong. Right now, we know the Germany score, and that's going to dominate headlines right now until obviously if Canada win, it will. Now we're looking forward to it or getting closer to it. For me, obviously, it's going to be the game of the day for me for obvious reasons. But you look at them, and the first game, Croatia, Morocco, was there a big pull for it, or was that not really? Germany, Japan, we know the results. Spain, Costa Rica.
I fancy Costa Rica.
It should. Well, who knows with what's been
Costa
going
Rica
on.
beat us in 2014.
Still
didn't do well.
You never know. But then this is. I think the most expectation is on this game today because of what it is for Canada. We shall have to wait and see. But I will say people won't be disappointed after the game.
Yeah. It's going to be absolutely brilliant. It's going to... I'm going to be watching it in my local tap room because hopefully they're showing the game. They showed the England game, so maybe they'll show this one. They've got the rights to show it, so all that matters. But I will certainly be watching that game. I might even leave work early to watch the game.
There you go. And news just in. I've just got a WhatsApp from Scott M, who has just said, say thanks to Ben for having me on the show. Hopefully it wasn't too hard to hear as I was driving through Alberta countryside to work. So Scott M is very appreciative that.
Big up, Scott. Thank you for coming on, buddy. Thank you for coming on. It was great to have him.
Exactly. It was great to have him.
Our Canadian correspondent for the day, because Bobby K is not here.
Exactly.
For some reason, he has to work. What?
Yeah. Well, do you know what? I was speaking. I mean, Ben, I'll speak to you later, depending on what you're up to and what time. I spoke to Brian Ireland briefly yesterday, and said, listen, maybe with people doing all their not watch-alongs, but shows after their game, maybe we should do one to represent Canada. And who knows? We may go live tonight. Yeah. We may go live, depending on. But I mean, if you want to come on, obviously, it all depends. Brian Ireland's going to be at work during the game as well, unfortunately. But he watches Spurs when he's doing it. He will be watching Canada.
Yeah.
So we may go live this evening.
Always willing to join. We'll see what happens.
Exactly. I think a lot of it depends on if we win. If we win, you bet your bottom dollar that we'll be going live. So we'll have to wait and see, buddy.
Too long to go. It's 3:15. You got another 3.5 hours.
I know. Well, shortly I've got to start making tracks to the studio because I'm doing Spain, Costa Rica with them as well.
Bloody hell! What time that game kicks off at 4 o'clock?
That game kicks off at 4 p.m.
We will be going live for another 10 minutes, I reckon. I think we've talked all enough about the game, so we'll go. We'll have a bit of light-hearted chat about the rest of the tournament for the rest of the show.
Yep.
Big up, Daniel. Hopefully you're doing well, buddy. One love. Big up. Big up.
One love. Talk about Manuel Neuer sticking to it, or no? You're not talking about that?
Talk about
No politics.
no politics. No politics.
Yeah,
Well,
no politics.
You said one love, so
Yeah, no. That's a discussion that's not on this stream.
Yes.
But yeah, no. I mean, what is there to say about it? Obviously, I like the way that the attendances are being told are one thing, but are actually another.
Again,
just
we
like
won't talk about that. That's another thing we won't talk about. But what we will say is England are playing the United States of America in 2 days on Friday.
They are.
I'm looking forward to this game. I think England are going to destroy them.
Well,
it looks like Harry Kane is fit.
That's exactly what I was about to say. The news coming through that he's fit, but this has come from tier 1 source Jordan Pickford, who I go to for all my medical research in England health problems. It is the game of the top. Obviously, you got the British Isles collision with Wales, but hopefully the job is done by then, and we can relax and rest. England America is a huge game, a huge game for the world. Obviously, with these two nations, and I am looking forward to it. Looking forward to it. A Friday night game, which we're not used to, and I will be watching it. Obviously, not going to be adorning Shabbat rules.
I will take my chicken soup down the pub.
There you go. Exactly.
I will have it in a flask.
It's a big game, but I'll tell you what. Fair play to America. If America come out and play the way they played in the first half, they're going to cause us problems.
Yeah, maybe it won't be 7-0 and it'll be 5-0.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, they will. One thing I will say about it, and I was really looking forward to this game, having my first real look at McKennie. Mm-hmm. And the only thing that bloody got my attention was his bloody hairstyle.
I liked his hairstyle. I thought it was great.
That's exactly what I said, Miles. That's exactly what I said.
As long as he makes it blue and white and it says "W Spurs" on the side of it, I don't care.
Exactly, but obviously I'm not one of those players that's going to judge a player just on one performance. But what I can judge on that performance is
average.
Yeah, from that performance, I'd want to see it a lot more.
He's only had one good game that people have talked about, and that was when he was locked down, when he was Juventus Barcelona, and he scored at that.
You'll have other Americans that will beg to differ.
Well, that's because they're biased, because it's
no, it's not because they're biased. Maybe a little bit, but there are players that watch him.
I hope not.
There are bloody. What's that? Are you doing the watch along alone? No, Stuart. I'm with Ben and Simeon in the studio, so it'll be me, Ben, Simeon doing the Costa Rica Spain game, or Spain Costa Rica, whichever way you want to say it. Yeah. And then obviously the mighty Canada versus Belgium. So it'll be me, Ben, and Sim. I will, if Canada score, I am going to go absolutely potty in that studio.
Score if they go 1-0.
I will go potty.
And everybody do.
It's Daddy Kiriakou. It's Daddy Kiriakou. I do love that, man. Big up, brother.
Big up, Danny. Hopefully you're well, buddy.
Danny, I'll give you a call when I'm in the Uber to We Are Tottenham, brother.
Not sure.
So yeah, as we were saying with McKennie,
we'll talk about it after the stream, Danny. We'll let you know. We will let you know.
We'll speak. So yeah, Weston McKennie. I want to see, like I said, the Americans rave about him, and everyone has their right to. Like we will rave about a player, and as we know, Will Stewart raves about him. The way that he's come on my radar is through Will, and obviously when it comes to stats, Will is the man to go to, and the stats that he's shown are he would be a good asset to Tottenham Hotspur. So that's the stats test. The eye test, I'm not so sure, but I'm only judging that by one game.
Yeah.
So I'm sure
he's brilliant for Tottenham.
I'm sure of all games that he'll decide to have an absolute worldie.
Yeah.
Will be against us as it's written. So what's it saying? The
frustrating thing about the USA is that we can absolutely run riot when we want, but then 10 seconds later play like we've never kicked the ball in our lives. So basically, Tottenham during the 90s.
Exactly. So we'll have to see with Weston McKennie. But do you know what? I put a tweet out earlier saying, do you know what? Apart from Harry Kane with his 2 assists, none of the Spurs players that are there representing their countries have really done anything of note, in my opinion. Yeah. What about yourself?
We will see when the man, the myth, the legend, my guy, Rodrigo Bentancur plays in the. I think he's going to have a barnstorm of a World Cup. As long as he don't get injured, I think he's going to be absolutely brilliant. And I think Sonny's going to run riot. I think Sonny's going to be brilliant as well.
I hope so. I hope so. I really hope so, because hopefully a successful World Cup with career, whether that's getting out the groups or him doing what Sonny does when it's when he's needed, this could be the huge boost for him. Mm-hmm. So when he comes back, he's ready. We've got to remember last season as well, he'd only scored 2 goals before Christmas. Yeah. And then we know what happened. But yeah, the players are yet to. Who else have we got? Richarlison's yet to play with Brazil.
Richarlison's going to do well this tournament. He always seems to turn it on for Brazil. He always
played earlier.
Yeah, exactly. I'm thinking about players that haven't played yet. So we got Son.
Romero played. Romero looked crap yesterday. He looked injured as hell. He should not be at this tournament. He is not fit at all.
He's not fit. And the thing is, as well, you look at it all season. Last season, there's no getting away with just how superb he was. He hasn't started this season on the same track. Listen, we don't expect him to be absolutely incredible non-stop every single game. That's what we all want. It's obviously
still a standard we expect him to be.
Exactly. And he hasn't been at that acceptable standard for me. Just because his name is Christian Romero and he is our best defender by an absolute billion miles, doesn't mean that we can't say you're not playing well.
But unfortunately, it goes back to that man, DL. We needed a replacement centre-back for Romero. Romero has got injured. We realised we've got Eric Dyer and Davinson Sanchez defending. So we've brought him back early from injury, and he's got injured again because our fitness team is a bunch of shit. Yeah. And now look at him. And he has to childmind Eric Dyer and Emerson Royale. So no wonder he's not fit. No wonder he's not fit.
Yep.
So there's only 2 men to blame. Daniel Levy and unfortunately Mr. Paratici for not fixing the fitness team because they are shite.
Correct.
Agreed.
It's their fault. I don't want to make a Daniel Levy conversation because this is not a Daniel Levy conversation stream. But it's their fault that he is injured because they have not fixed the medical team. How many players have we had that have never had an injury before in their entire careers? They come to Tottenham and they get bad injuries, and it's recurring injuries as well. And it's down to the fitness team.
Yep. No, you're right. And I mean, you deserve a gold star for bringing up that man first before me on a stream. That is some kind of award.
Also, we get injury-prone players.
So yeah, well, this all leads to January, doesn't it? It all leads to what we do January in the next. This is the window where we do things.
And it's kind of like a transfer watch, isn't it? Because we're all going to be like, someone's going to have a good game and be like, I want him to sign for us, innit?
Yeah.
There are 1 or 2 good games, especially from like these, like in the Japan, like seeing how well he played, where we might look at one of them, I think whoever scored the winner, or like he looks like a good player because he's done against Germany. We should get him, it'll be good squad depth. But the thing is also, with squad depth, you need to be a quality squad depth. That's the thing. Like you look at City, their squad depth is ridiculous, and then the quality is ridiculous.
Correct.
And our squad depth is on the bench. It's Skip and Tanganga.
There we go. There we go. And on that note, I'm going to have to start making moves to We Are Tottenham.
So we are going to end the stream right there on a high note. So Brian, what are we doing tomorrow?
So, I'll do this. I'll keep my fingers getting warmed up because I've got something to say. Funnily enough, we are doing Ask Us Anything. Time yet to be confirmed. Ben is free after 7 o'clock. I'm not free for our regular time, 4 o'clock. So I'm looking after my little bundles of joy, my nephews and my niece. Yeah. So there will be an Ask Us Anything tomorrow. We are just confirming the time. There may even be something tonight, spur of the moment, based on the performance, and if Brian Ireland's free, if Ben's free, if Danny wants to come on, whoever. So there may be an impromptu Canada thing, but there will definitely be an Ask Us Anything tomorrow at some point. Time to be confirmed.
Brilliant stuff. Brilliant stuff. We will be back tomorrow at 2 p.m. The usual time. We're going to have a calm stream tomorrow after today's game. I don't have anything else to do tomorrow. So if anyone is chilling out, we're chilling out. And Brian give the usual speech. And as always.
Well, first of all, and as always, go Canada.
Yeah.
But I can't end the stream with that. I have to end with Hanukkah fastly approaching and Christmas, and you're looking for stocking fillers, don't forget, if you have these kind of fingers where you need moisturizing, don't forget that the Google Stadium is no longer, but we have extended our contract with Molten Brown to be our official club toiletries. Get your stocking fillers in. And as always, Levy out.
Brilliant stuff. Thank you so much for watching the stream. We will be back tomorrow. And as always, if you smell what the cough is brewing, thank you all so much for watching. Come on, you Canada. Have a wonderful rest of the day. Big up, everyone, and we'll see you tomorrow. Cheers.